Starting in step one, the determination of the scope of your study. So this is really answering the question: what is the system of analysis that I'm going to do my carbon footprint upon? What sources am I going to include? What sources am I going to exclude? These sources, as mentioned in the theoretical bit, are adopted from the greenhouse gas protocol. So again, you can see the figure on the right. And basically in this step, you are going by all these categories listed, and are going to take them into account in your assessment, yes or no. This sounds quite easy, but of course, this is also a bit of an arbitrary process, and therefore also regulated by the GHG protocol. Basically, what the GHG protocol is stating is that companies shall account for all scope 3 emissions, besides scope 1 and 2, of course, all scope 3 emissions, and disclose and justify any exclusions. Hence, when we're looking at this figure, we are taking every scope into account. Only per scope that we are excluding, we must justify that decision. The justification of this decision is also explained in the GHG protocol, and basically there's a list of criteria whether you can or for you to exclude these emission sources. Important one is, of course, the size of the emission source. Another important one, of course, is the influence you have as an organization on that scope 3 emission in your value chain, but also the risk that your company is contributing to global warming. What your stakeholders found important. Also outsourcing activities, as there can be like sector guidance papers written, white papers where a sector states these are the emission sources that you must include or can exclude. And of course, there are some other criteria as well. So, in short, start with all the emission sources and then justify any exclusions that you want to leave out. So we are here, of course, to support you in your first self-made business carbon footprint with our Hedgehog Carbon Dashboard. And to facilitate this process, we have made a list of emission sources that everyone must include in his or her first business carbon footprint. These are, of course, all scope 1 emissions, all scope 2 emissions, and then to basically support all, at least all the service organizations, also business travel and employee commuting. All these emission sources are available in the free version of our Hedgehog Carbon Dashboard. And as you will also find out later, at the moment that you want to include other scope 3 sources, for example, because you are a production or a manufacturer of anything, these emission sources tend to become very specific for your organization. And that's where we prefer to join in and guide your organization towards getting a real understanding of your business carbon footprint. So if we're zooming back out to the figure of the GHG protocol, of the greenhouse gas protocol, and simply circling the emission sources that are available in the free version of the Hedgehog Carbon Dashboard. Voila, here they are.